Hi guys, welcome to a new unboxing video. So today we're going to be unboxing and comparing the HyperX Cloud 3 wireless against the Cloud 2 wireless. Now I thought these would be the most obvious comparison. I did want to compare them as well to the Cloud Alphas, but I can't find them. They're in their box somewhere. So the Cloud Alphas, wasn't that much of a fan of them. They had amazing battery life, but I felt that was where the best bits ended. Basically the comfort was great, it was signature HyperX, they're always comfortable, but I wasn't that sold on the sound. I thought the highs were just they were too sharp, and with certain games I found that I couldn't wear them for that long before I wanted to just take them off and have a break. So that's why you don't see me using them very often. But then when I picked up the Cloud 2s, I felt like they had managed to take some of that sharpness away, and although you can't EQ the Cloud 2s, the sound was much more, slightly flatter. They have very good bass, very good mids, vocals are pretty good. The highs are perhaps a tiny bit veiled, but it did mean that it's got quite a fun sound signature and good stereo separation. So on games like Diablo 4, I found that you could easily hear where the enemies were, and it was, you know, made for a good atmospheric sound. So I was quite a big fan of the Cloud 2 wireless, which have now been replaced by the Cloud 3s. So the downsides with the Cloud 2s, because they're so simple, when you go into the HyperX software, like I said, there's no EQ there. There's a 7.1 surround, but the problem with the 7.1 surround is all it did was it lifted up the bass loads to a point where it kind of drowned everything else out. And they don't have, there's no active noise cancellation, there's no game to chat mix, and there's no Bluetooth. Battery life was around 30 hours, and I found that's roughly what I got. So yeah, they were good. I've enjoyed them quite a lot. So the Cloud 3s, they haven't got any of that either. No active noise cancellation, no Bluetooth. I can give or take Bluetooth. It's one of those nice to haves, but it doesn't put me off trying a headset if it doesn't have Bluetooth. Right, so the one thing that I didn't like when I was using the Cloud 2s for streaming is that the side tone, I couldn't hear myself. You can only turn it on or off, and I found that the only way to hear your own voice when you're talking is to have the volume up high. Problem with that is, as soon as you're in a game, it's so loud that you can't hear yourself anyway. So the side tone, that's something that's pretty important to me. And in the under £200 price category that these are in, I haven't found anything that's competed with the higher end ones. Well, I'm not comparing them to these, but for side tone, the more expensive headsets like the Arctis Nova Pro wireless and the Turtle Beach Stealth Pros, they have good side tone, they have noise cancellation, but then their price reflects the features that they have. So what have we got with the Cloud 3? It's now got a 10mm capsule for the microphone, so the mic itself could potentially be really good on this. From what I've read as well, the side tone is supposed to be much improved in this, so that's one of the things I'm most curious about. They're going to have the same HyperX signature comfort, and the battery life is excellent. They claim up to 120 hours, so yeah, really good. These have got some potential, hopefully. Right, so let's see what's in the box. Okay, so let's just, yeah, typical HyperX build quality. Everything is just built so solid that feel a little bit heavier, a bit more The swivel, so these don't give a perfect seal because they don't have that proper swivel like the Corsair HS80 MAX does. So when you put these on, if you don't sort of press the back down behind your ears a little bit, you don't get that perfect seal behind your ears. And this is also down to the shape of your head. So in the hinge, they have this tiny bit of swivel going on. It's just enough to work, but it's not like with these, because these go the other way by quite a bit, so you get a proper good seal. So they've done the same thing here, but it does look like it's got more movement than the Cloud 2s. Let's just see what else is in the box and then we can get the box out of the way. So quick start guide, and then this little box. So at the moment, these come in cheaper than the Cloud Alphas. These are £109 on Amazon, which originally they were about £150, £160, which I thought that might, that's possibly a bit on the expensive side given the feature set. But for 110, these look like a bit of a bargain. So what we've got in here, oh yeah, we've got a little bag. I like to give these little bags away. Quite a nice look there, like a sort of silky material bag. Got the microphone with, I mean, look at the size of that. Let's just compare. Let's just pull the windsock or whatever you call it off there. So compared to the Cloud 2s, you don't need the pop filter on these because they've got a metal pop filter, and that's the size difference. It's a lot bigger, so should pick up the voice pretty well, hopefully. Let's attach this. Little charge cable. Let's just see how long this is. Doesn't look very long. Yeah, it's a bit short. I mean, what's that, about 2 feet? So, I mean, most of us have got tons of USB-C to USB-C cables lying about. So that's where's the dongle? Okay, so we've got the dongle here, and then, yeah, that's it. Now the dongle is a USB-C dongle, which is great. They also give you a USB-C to USB-A adapter, so you'll be able to plug this into anything. It doesn't work on Xbox, but it works on PS4, PS5, Switch, and then PC. So that's the dongle. Now let's try. Good amount of resistance. So quite similar to the resistance on the old ones. So I don't usually have to adjust them once I put them on, so I imagine I shouldn't have to on this. Oh yeah, comfort is spot. Actually, these ear pads are, yeah, a fair bit. I'd say they're at least 50% thicker and very plush. These feel like, I don't know if there is memory foam in these or not, but they bounce back quite quick. Still very comfortable, but I do find that my ears touch the inside. But it's very padded very well, so they're not uncomfortable or anything. But there's definitely, these are definitely thicker. The headband is very plush, and the top of the headband is also padded, or nice and soft. So the headband on these, it's kind of gone, I suppose it's kind of gone soft over time because I have had these for a while. But there's not much squish before you get to the headband itself. This is, yeah, much thicker. Yeah, and that slight extra swivel that they've got in there is enough for it to seal quite nice. Yeah, right. So, in the under £200 category, my favourites for a while now have been the Corsair HS80 MAX. I find the comfort and the sound is excellent, the microphone is excellent. They're just great all round, and they do have Bluetooth. I mean, it's not simultaneous Bluetooth, but they do have Bluetooth. But again, the side tone on them is, you can't hear yourself, which is the only thing that that really bothers me about that. So that, I think that pretty much covers everything for the unboxing part. So next, I'm going to test this out on everything, and then we'll come back, we'll do a mic test, and yeah, I'll give you my thoughts. So see you in the rig. So I've been using the Cloud 3 wireless now for a week, and so far they've been excellent, and I'll go into more detail. So first I'll show you the controls that are on the headset. You've got your volume wheel on that side, and then on this side you have got your USB-C port for charging, and then your power on-off switch and your mic mute button. I prefer a flip to mute mic myself, but this is fine. It works absolutely fine. And there's got a nice little feature that when you tap the power button once, a voice inside the headset tells you how much charge is left, which I like. Yeah, it's a nice touch. So after a week of use, the battery is still at around 85 to 90% roughly, and so we probably only need to charge this every 6 weeks or so, at least in my case, using it every day. And let me just show you, the only thing I would like to change is these ear cushions, because they're very plush, lots of space in them, they're really comfortable, but in the summer, how hot it is now, your ears get very spicy. So I did pick up some ear cushions, because I use ear cushions from Wicked on every headset. Like, these are the HS80 MAX. And let me just show you. I only used them for a couple of hours, and then I removed them. Normally it's a no-brainer, you just put Wicked cushions on and you're away. But the actual space for your ears is actually fairly narrow, and when I've got these on, all of my ear is touching the inside of it. It's not uncomfortable, it's just you're just aware of it, and I thought, I don't like these. Let me just try, and there's a lot more space in the stock pads. I'll see if I can show you what I mean. You see the amount of difference in space. Now these are a bit thicker, they've got the cooling gel, but they're just not big enough inside, I don't think. So for that reason I took them off. So I've just been using it as it is. Now, microphone wise, I've spoken to a few people on Discord, and I've had very favourable comments about it. Actually, speaking of the mic, let's do a microphone test between these the old HyperXs and the HS80 MAX. This is the microphone test for the Corsair HS80 MAX wireless with no noise gate or noise removal. This is the microphone test for the HyperX Cloud 2 wireless without any filters. And lastly, this is the microphone test for the new HyperX Cloud 3 wireless without any filters or noise gates. So, which is the best microphone out of those three? I'll let you guys decide. I listened to it back and it does indeed sound very clear. And it's thanks to this massive capsule, you know, it's 10mm and yeah, it seems to be really nice and clear. Now, one thing that I was saving till last is how good the sound is on this. When I first unboxed it, I thought, okay, it's not really any. They haven't really done anything new over the Cloud 2s. You know, it looks similar. It's similar when you wear it. They haven't added any features as such. So what it is one of the best sounding ones that I've tried, and it's very close. Its standard flat signature is very close to the Harman curve, and it sounds, music just sounds really nice. And voices, male and female vocals. There's no sibilance. It's a very it's very pleasant to listen to across all types of music. And instrument separation is really impressive. Instruments are separated so well as the stereo separation left to right. It really is excellent out of the box. And on console, it just, yeah, I can't emphasize enough how much this sounds better than the old Cloud 2 wireless. And this isn't a bad sounding headset. It's just the highs and vocals are a little bit veiled, and you can't change how this sounds. So the way that sounds is how it is across everything. So I was super impressed with this. Now, previously, my favourite headset in terms of sound was the HS80 MAX. Not out of the box, because out of the box it's not exciting, the how it sounds when you just take it out of the box and like put some music on. The thing with this is it reacts to EQ so well that I just copied Joe from Gadgetry Tech. I copied his EQ settings when I did the review of this, and that's how I've left it. It's got a little bit more bass presence over the Cloud 3s. But they are they are so close in terms of the Harman curve that it's hard to pick between these two in terms of sound. If you want a tiny bit heavier bass, you know, if you want to feel it that little bit more, then these, when they're EQ'd, are the ones. Now, you don't really, this doesn't apply to console, so when you aren't connected, or when you're listening via Bluetooth, you're listening to its stock flat signature. Your EQ only applies when you're on PC, which is a shame. But that's where this is really good out of the box. The Cloud 3s, because they don't need to be EQ'd, they sound better on consoles, and it's a shame it's lacking a few of the features. However, the not having Bluetooth, not having game chat mix, not having active noise cancellation, they're all things that I like to have in a headset. But the excellent battery life and the excellent sound, I mean, it just sounds superb. And the great mic, these are probably going to become the one that I use the most. at least in here in this rig, because I've been looking for something to replace my favourites that have been my favourites for the best part of a year, the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro Wireless. They have all the features you could ever want, and with the wicked cushions on, you've got much thicker ear pads, so it's the comfort's there. The only thing with those that has bothered me for a while, and it seems to be a lot of people having this issue, when Windows does an update, or when SteelSeries GG software gets an update, the sonar part of it that controls your game chat mix doesn't work, even though it's switched on in the software. And you have to keep trying turning it off and on, see if it'll start working. Most of the time it won't. And then I found the only way to sort it is to reinstall the software and set it all up again. And it's been annoying me for quite a while. So I've been looking for something to replace that, and it was between these two, basically. So I'm leaning towards this. The only thing I wish is that I could get some wicked cushions with a bigger opening. Because I did a few hours of racing last night, and I had these on, and that's the only thing that just your ears get too hot over a long period of time. So I'm going to be on the lookout if I find any other gel ear cups from any other manufacturer. There's quite a few out there, so I'm gonna start searching. If I find some that are perfect for this, I'll let you know. Now, one last thing I did want to do was to show you the difference. These on. Now, let me just switch on both headsets. Sorry, I wasn't pressing the power button. Right. Now, let me just show you the software. These should appear in a moment. So, first we'll take a look at the Cloud 2 Wireless. Now, in here, there's not that much you can really do. All you've got is your volume and, mute, microphone output and mute, mic monitoring, which actually, if I turn this headset off and on, the mic monitoring needs re-enabling. I'm not sure why, but to do it on the headset, like when you're in a game, say on console, to re-enable mic monitoring, you press and hold the mute button for a few seconds and it will enable it again. I'm not sure why it doesn't just stay on when you leave it on all the time. So 7.1 surround sound. I've never found this to be very useful. I honestly don't like what it does to the sound. It just muddies everything, and so there's almost like an echo to it where it tries to push sounds further back. But I've never enjoyed that, to be honest. And you can't adjust it in any way. It's just on or off. So I've always just left that off. Now, if we move over to the Cloud 3 wireless, what we've got here is a few extras. Well, DTSX spatial sound. Again, it reminds me of the 7.1 surround for the Cloud 2s. It just doesn't. It kind of like what it does to the voices in a game is it just feels like someone's just put a piece of fabric over your ear and then put the headset on. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, so I just leave that off. So you got your usual volume microphone here, mic monitoring. Now that is where this is just delightful, and I'm so happy that they sorted this out. You mic monitoring, you hear your voice so clean and natural. It's the best I've heard. Previously, I thought the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless were the best, but this is just slightly better again, and it is absolutely perfect. Can't adjust the amount of mic monitoring, which it would be nice if they did put that in, but it doesn't really matter because it's just perfect, and I can hear myself talk so that I'm not shouting when I'm wearing these. It's literally, it's like you're not talking into a mic. It's just like you've taken your headset off and you're talking normally. It's so natural and clean. It's so much better. I'm really chuffed that they did that. So over here to the equalizer, you can disable it and just have that standard sort of natural EQ that they sound like out of the box, which is, like I said, was really good. If you did want to use one of the presets, optimizer sounds good. I found that if I was listening to something I wanted a little bit more bass, you can see the curve when you click on that. So it just lifts the bottom end and then just lowers the mids ever so slightly. And that sounds really good as well. Or you can just make your own, just click on new preset. You can do whatever you like. It responds pretty well to EQ. It doesn't make huge changes when you're making slight adjustments. Not like the HS80 MAX. These they're so responsive when you're adjusting the EQ in them. It's amazing. You can do all sorts with the sound on the HS80 MAX. But this responds pretty well too, and I don't want to save that. And like I said, I like to just have it as it is out of the box. It just sounds great. But yeah, when I was listening to music earlier, I went to the optimizer preset, and it's just gives you that little bit more of a bassy thump to it, a little bit more sub bass. It's really nice. And yeah, that is everything in there. So with a week of use, I'm now down to 82%, which is, you know, superb. And that is it for the software. So at the price that this is now, it's $109.99. It's an absolute bargain. At its standard price, which is retail price, which I think is $150. It's a little bit of a harder sell just because of the lack of those features that that I spoke about. Because at that price point, it starts to compete with other headsets that have them. So yeah, in the 150 price bracket, I'd say these are still worth recommending. I just wouldn't call them a bargain, but for 110, they are a bargain. And comparing them to the Corsair HS80 MAX, I think I would give the slight nod to the HS80 MAX for the comfort, just because of the how big the ear pads are. I mean, the stock pad. I mean, I know these are the wicked cushions, but the stock pads as well give you lots of space. It's just that tiny bit more comfortable with the space in the ear pads. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and look around online to see if I can find any decent cooling gel ear cushions for these. There's quite a few options out there around like Amazon. So I'll see if I can find anything that's got a decent amount of space in here. Because these are just right. They're just, you just get a bit too hot. And that's just in how it seals in the sound really well. But I do want to find some cushions for this. Wicked cushions, if they ever make any other ones that are got slightly bigger inner diameter, these would be perfect. And that's it. So I'll put a generic Amazon affiliate link in the description for both these. And yeah, at 110, this is, you know, a genuine bargain. I think you're paying still about 170 for these, so quite a price difference. And that's it. So thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon. See you guys.